practically at the altar, to marry Dominique Francon. Now, well, why? Does he love Dominique more than Katie? No, he doesn't love her at all. Does he even like her? No, he's afraid of her. As well he might be. She sees through him, and she has the integrity to tell him to his face. Remember, he proposes to her early in the story? She is the boss's daughter. And Dominique says, Peter, if I ever do something really horrible that I want to punish myself for, I will marry you. So, I mean, Dominique says brutal, but she's honest and truthful. So he's got reason to be intimidated by her. So I'm confused. Why surrender the woman you love to marry a woman who scares you? Dominique is scary. Well, he marries Dominique for the same reason he becomes an architect, because it impresses the yokels. You know, the difference between Dominique and Katie. I mean, Katie's plain. Not just that she's plain. She lacks the social graces. You know, she's a woman always has a hole in her glove, a slip is showing. You know, and he walks into the Rainbow Room with, you know, or Lutece or the Four Seasons with Catherine Halsey on his arm. Nobody's gonna notice. But Dominique Francon, on the other hand, is not just beautiful. You know, she's got all the social graces. She's poised. She's elegant. There's never a hole in her glove. Her slip's never showing, unless, as one of my students once put it, she wants it to be. And when Keating walks into the Four Seasons with, you know, Dominique Francon on his arm, every head in the place is guaranteed to turn and go, ooh. And you got to understand, it's for those few seconds of ooh from the yokels that Peter Keating sells his soul. They all think, what a lucky guy. Look who he's married to. And Keating, of course, yeah, but I got to go home with her. You know, yeah, I can impress you guys, but I get to go home with Dominique in this absolutely loveless relationship. There's nothing in common. There's no love. There's nothing that's completely empty. And for that, I gave up, you know, for that few seconds of adulation and envy from the crowd, he gave up the fulfilling love relationship and marriage that he could have had with Catherine Halsey. All right, got 2 minutes. So notice something here. At a certain level, a superficial level, you might argue Keating's selfish. He lies, cheats, steals to get to the top of corporate America. But Ayn Rand's point is, let's look deeper. At a deeper level, Keating is selfless. Literally, he's without self. If the self is the values that you've chosen and the judgment you've used to choose those values, those are exactly what Keating has surrendered. His life is now empty, filled only with mommy's rules, Ellsworth Toohey's rules, society's rules, etc. Peter Keating's life is miserable, miserably empty, as it would have to be if you surrender yourself. With what are you then going to savor the money you have or the recognition you gain? He's given up everything of personal value to him. His own values, his own judgment, to obey others. And his life is necessarily empty and miserable. Peter Keating is without self. He is a certain perverse example of self-sacrifice. He has sacrificed everything he himself personally loved in order to meet the expectations of Mother Toohey society. And that is an empty, miserable existence. Got 1 minute left. I want to tie this to the theme of the book. Selfishness, then, is being true to one's own self, which means to the judgment, to the thinking, to the independent thinking that it takes to choose and form values. And so selfishness is necessarily independent. Whereas to be selfless is to give up your values, give up your judgment by which you form them, give up your mind, give up yourself, and consequently, you are necessarily dependent on others for guidance. Your Mother Toohey society then dictates to you how you conduct your life. And you see Ayn Rand a brilliant analysis of the reversing the selfishness, selflessness issue. And as if that weren't enough, tying it directly to our theme of the book of independence versus dependence. All right. Next week, we're going to go in deeper, further, higher. We're going to get to more of the literary greatness of the Fountainhead. Or in 2 weeks, I mean. Next week is Atlas Shrugged Day. Hope to see you guys there, and see you 2 weeks. Well, it's Fountainhead Day. All right, we'll talk to Kara about Atlas Shrugged Day. All right, thanks for coming, everybody.